Welcome to the gun range. I am Guns, and today we're going to talk about the exotics that are in Destiny 2 beta if you have yet to get to try them out. That is Funshot, Sweet Business, and Risk Runner. They're all very interesting in my opinion, some less than others. Just like in Destiny 1, there are exotics I love more than others. For instance, Red Death and Suros Regime, those are my go-to guns, man. I took those everywhere with me, and things like Telesto I didn't care that much about. Things I hated were things like Universal Remote or Plan C. And so I imagine there's going to be a lot of exotics in here that all kind of fit that same bill of things you like, things you hate, things you know. And I didn't really find any of them that I loved in the Destiny 2 beta. So the three are the Risk Runner, the Funshot, and the Sweet Business. Sweet Business is with the Titan class, Funshot is with the Hunter, and the Risk Runner is with the Warlog. Let's start with the Funshot, because this wasn't a bad weapon, it was just terrible in PvP. It was pretty alright for PvE. It was really good at clearing mobs. So, the Funshot is a solar hand cannon, goes in the energy slot. Reads Can't Outrun the Sun on it, and that's by Louis Feng. So it's an 8-round magazine hand cannon that shoots explosive rounds, highlights targets for you, and targets killed with Funshot. It does not have to be precision kills. Targets killed with Funshot explode in solar energy. This is like Fatebringer 2.0. It's like Fatebringer had like a descent. They basically turned Fatebringer into an exotic, is what they did. Like literally, this is just a throwback to Fatebringer for all the people that are happy. So Fatebringer still exists in the game. I think it's funny that there were a certain number of perks that were so good together that they ended up making an exotic out of it, and of course they're limiting those kinds of perks now. But, you know, it was a good weapon. I'm glad to see them bring it back in an exotic format. It was good in PvE, not that good in PvP. Hand cannons in general just seem like they need a little bit of work in PvP, but it was great for clearing out mobs in PvE, just, you know, pew, 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 pew. Explosions everywhere, Vex, Fallen, Cabal. This was a pretty great weapon. I liked it. It's not one of my. I can't see this being a favorite, like a thing that I just gotta carry around with me everywhere that I go. It was okay at best, you know. I'm sure there's gonna be other things that are better. The Sweet Business with the Titan. Now y'all know I love me some Titan. I played the Titan, Sentinel, and Striker, and I still like the Striker more than the Sentinel, but we'll talk about that another time. But of course they get the Sweet Business. This is a kinetic slotted auto rifle, and it's basically just a minigun. This gun had a lot of problems. One, it's terrible in PvP. It's terrible in PvP. So it has a spin up time, and that spin up time leads it to basically taking a while to actually like be effective. It's a you know, like kind of like a minigun would. So like if you get in a fight with somebody and it spins up, by the time it's done spinning up, you're dead. And then its damage output is exactly the same as a normal auto rifle. So unless they've been missing all their shots the entire time your gun is spinning up, you're screwed. So it's terrible, absolutely terrible in PvP. I mean, just get like one kill with it. In PvE, it's not good either. Here's the thing about it. It has a large magazine, but it does very little. It does a little bit less than the normal auto rifle. So it's really not all that much. Like, it doesn't melt bosses, and it doesn't move their health bars at fast rates either, and it doesn't clear a ton of mobs either. I think if they made it do just a little bit more damage, and they made it hold a lot more ammo so that you could just like not even worry about it, just keep firing the whole time, you know, maybe it would be a little bit interesting then. But its reload's too long, it doesn't do enough damage, its fire rate's too slow. That's another thing. If it had a higher fire rate, I think that would fix it. It just wasn't a good gun. I didn't like it. I was very sad about the Risk Runner because it looks really cool, and I'd love to run around with that thing, but it's not a good DPS weapon. Then there was the Risk Runner. So the Risk Runner came with the Warlog. It's an energy submachine gun archetype. It says charge your soul and let the electrons sing. 750 rounds per minute, 440 in the magazine. Its perk is Arc Conductor. Taking arc damage increases weapon power. When Arc Conductor is active, shots fired have a chance to become chain lightning and return ammo. So basically what this thing does is that it does more damage when it's charged. 1. 2, it's infinite ammo. It's basically infinite ammo whenever you're taking arc damage. And 3, it then produces a chain lightning effect, so that you're shooting one person and then it does damage to a bunch of others. This was particularly useful on the strike. This is a PvE weapon right here, folks. This thing clears motherfuckers. Especially if you're at an area where you can very easily continue to take arc-related damage. So all you have to do is find a source of arc-related damage that you can continuously use, and this motherfucker will truck through enemies. Like, it's unbelievable. Now, I don't love this gun, but I like this gun. It's a good gun. This is something that you're going to see in some crazy combination builds that people are going to put up there for different types of subclasses. You may, I don't know if it'll work like this, but it may be even effective that damaging yourself with an arc source would work so that you could proc it yourself. Who knows? We haven't seen it yet. We will eventually, though. So I'm really interested to see, because we don't have access to the full game, we don't have access to everything. People are going to find some crazy ass scenarios for this gun where it's just going to be a monster. And I'll be really interested to see what people do with it then, how it pans out. I think this was definitely the best gun of the beta. But as we know with Destiny's exotics in the past, there are some guns that work brilliantly, and there are others that are very meh. For instance, everyone thought Telesto was going to be amazing when you read the description. Telesto fires bolts that explode. Okay, it worked like a regular fusion rifle, except it stuck to the enemy and then it exploded. If it killed anybody with these explosions, it generated orbs, and each explosion had a small AoE. So people thought it would be great in groups and everything like that, and it just turned out to kind of be shit. So with exotics, you know, we never know until we actually get out there and test them. I think it's in Bungie's best interest to try to find exotics that we love and take those exotics and leave them alone, and then change and alter the other exotics of the game so that you look at them all and you go, oh, they're all good choices. Because if you have 2 to 3 or 4 exotics that everyone's in love with, these do the most damage, these are the coolest looking, these have the coolest perks, the coolest effects, then nobody cares about the rest. I mean, that's kind of what it came down to in Destiny 1. Some of them found their, like, you know, their safe space, but you ever get killed with a Telesto in year 3? How about the 4 horsemen? Alright? No, the answer is no. What about a bad Juju in year 3, huh? You got killed with one of those yet? How about a Fate of All Fools? How about Icebreaker? You been killed with one of those in a while? Invective? Anyone been killed by one of those in a while? Necrochasm. Plan C? Anybody? Anybody? No? No Plan Cs? How about a Truth? Or a Mythoclast? Or a Thunderlord? Or a Last Word? Or Super Good Advice, actually. Yeah. So see, there's all these exotics that I just named off, and those were all, except for like Super Good Advice, really cool exotics that had really cool effects, and I thought, I was like, this shit's awesome, and they just kind of left them in the dust. And they didn't bother changing them any. They didn't bother making them any better. So that people would be like, yeah, I want to use that. So obviously the meta went to things like Suros, Red Death, Thorn you rarely see anymore, it's out of the meta now, but No Land Beyond, Universal Remote, things like that is basically where that went to. So all these exotics that were really cool, and people just gravitated towards these 2, 3, or 4 of them, and they didn't bother changing the rest of them, and that left them to become stagnant, which is, I think, an issue, and that's something I hope they address in Destiny 2, is that they do not let an exotic become stagnant. They make it powerful enough that each one has a pivotal and interesting role in what it can do. We'll see if they do that. Until then, guys, I am Guns. That's just about going to do it on the Destiny coverage, except for footage of the farm come Sunday. I'm Guns. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys later. All the links are down in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel, feel free to click and check them out. GG, everybody.